Welcome back to The Explainer. Look, if you've been following along, you know our players have survived some absolutely insane stuff. But what we're looking at today, it completely shatters the scale. I mean, the eye has blinked, the world has literally shaken, and today we are breaking down the terrifying arrival of World Hunter #1. So let's step into the dark and see what actually happens when the very rules of survival are just rewritten. Okay, let's jump right into this. Up until now, the Keeper has kind of been the ultimate authority, right? He's the guide, he knows the system inside and out, but when the earth starts shaking and everything in the forest just bows to this unseen force, Arjun hears something entirely new in the Keeper's voice. He hears fear. The old man goes completely pale, his hands are actually trembling around his blue lantern, and he realizes this entity is not supposed to wake up yet. This one single moment, it shifts the entire paradigm. The safety nets are totally gone.
Now, what's really fascinating and honestly terrifying is how the system mechanically handles this apocalyptic event. It doesn't just, spawn a random boss. It initiates an adaptive hunt protocol. And the most chilling part of this notification isn't even that our 5 active players are the sole targets, although that's bad enough. It's the reason. Unknown. The system itself doesn't even fully compute why this escalation is happening. It just reacts, bringing down a targeted, lethal response straight onto the players.
And then, the interface just shatters. Just imagine this violently flickering right in front of your eyes. The edges of the system window are literally cracking. The text starts glitching out, flashing this desperate error message, and a single, chilling command: run. And then it just cuts off with "do not trust." Guys, this isn't a standard game mechanic. This is a hack. It's a glitch practically screaming at them to run for their lives, right before the system violently restores its own integrity. So the really crucial point here is that this anomaly changes absolutely everything we thought we knew about this universe. The Keeper sees this glitched message and whispers this huge realization. He says, there really is someone fighting the system. This proves there's a higher cosmic power struggle happening entirely behind the scenes. Someone or something is actively interfering with the developer's design just to warn the players. It turns us from a simple monster encounter into, well, they're basically caught in the crossfire of a war between gods. Let's track how this builds, because the physical arrival of the Hunter is just a masterclass in atmospheric dread. It's paced like a ticking clock. First, the mountains literally split open in the distance. Then this crimson lightning cracks across the sky like spiderwebs on glass. And finally, the ground right in front of them just explodes, launching centuries-old trees into the air. The environment itself is actually bowing and breaking to herald the arrival of this thing. And this is what steps out of that crater. A dark knight, nearly 3 meters tall, completely covered in obsidian black armor with this massive crimson cloak. For a helmet, he's wearing the hollow, dark skull of a wolf. In one hand, he's holding an impossibly long spear, and in the other, he's dragging a glowing red steel chain. But the true horror, the part that genuinely makes your blood run cold, is the sound of that chain. Every single link rattles and screams with the agonizing voices of previous players. It is literally a walking monument to everyone who has failed. Right, so looking at the system's official ID for him, notice the total lack of information where it actually matters. Level? Question marks. That means his power is completely off the charts. The system's standard metrics can't even read him. And his mission is just singular and brutal. Eliminate players. It's exactly like the Keeper desperately warned them. If this thing sees your face, it never, ever stops hunting you. And of course, almost immediately, the hound sniffs the air, turns that skull helmet right toward Arjun, and just says one word: found. That is exactly when the physical reality of his power hits them. The hound vanishes with this massive sonic boom. Arjun's dead-eye perception barely even catches a thin crimson line cutting through the air. He screams for everyone to dodge, and the hound's spear crashes into the earth exactly where they were just standing. That one single casual throw carves a canyon nearly 50 meters long right into the forest floor. It collapses thousands of trees, and the ground itself starts bleeding this black liquid. 50 meters, just from one casual strike. This next part perfectly illustrates just how massive the power gap really is. Kabir, in a totally desperate bid to fight back, unleashes his ultimate magic, Abyss Fire. These massive black flames roar straight toward the Hunter. And how does the hound respond? He doesn't cast a shield, he doesn't even bother to dodge. He simply swings his chain, and the fire just vanishes. The key takeaway here is that the magic isn't being blocked. It is effortlessly, terrifyingly erased from existence. Their absolute strongest attack means literally nothing. any more proof of how hopelessly outmatched they are, look at this chilling detail. Samir's own shadow, his unique magical companion, it suddenly detaches itself. But instead of jumping in to defend Samir, the shadow actually bows to the hound in total terror. When Samir asks what it's doing, the shadow just whispers, "It is older than shadows." Even the fundamental, ancient elements of magic recognize the Crimson Hound as the superior primeval predator. So realizing fighting is quite literally impossible, the Keeper takes drastic action. He shatters his precious lantern, which explodes these unnatural blue flames all across the forest to create a wall of fire. It's a distraction, and it kicks off this desperate, breathless escape. For a full hour, they run in absolute silence. Nobody speaks. Nobody even dares to look back. They just sprint until the whole environment drastically shifts, moving from the black trunks of the forest into this strange, freezing clearing filled with pale white trees. Notice the crazy shift in the environment here? Behind them is the Blackwood Forest, which is in absolute chaos. Red lightning, exploding ground, and a relentless monster on their heels. But ahead of them is their destination, the Forgotten Sanctum. Pale white trees, silver blue leaves, and just dead absolute silence. Right in the center is an ancient, shimmering stone archway. The Keeper finally stops running, and he actually smiles, telling them they're safe because the hunter supposedly cannot enter this sacred place. For a second, you really feel the tension lift. But then, the absolute silence of that white forest gets broken. Clink, clink, clink. It's this slow, deep, metallic sliding sound echoing right from behind them. And through the blue flames they left behind, that glowing crimson chain slowly drags across the forest floor. Then the spear comes through, then the black armor. The Crimson Hound casually steps right into the impenetrable Forgotten Sanctuary. The Keeper's smile just instantly vanishes. He realizes the horrifying truth. The Hound looks straight at him and shatters every single assumption they, and honestly we, had about the system's mechanics. He says the old rules no longer apply. The Great Hunt has begun. By breaching this ultimate safe zone, the Hound proves that whatever constraints used to hold the system's monsters in check, they're completely gone. There is literally nowhere left to hide. But right when you think it's completely over, we get this massive final twist. As the Hound raises his spear to execute them, the dormant stone archway behind the boys violently cracks open. But it's not just breaking apart. A massive hand, covered in golden armor and etched with these symbols that predate the system itself, bursts through the stone from the other side. It's not attacking them, it's desperately reaching out, trying to pull them in, offering this wildly unexpected, violently collapsing exit. And with that hand comes a powerful, echoing voice from inside the broken gateway. Players, if you wish to live, step through. Just think about the dramatic weight of this split-second moment. Right behind them is World Hunter number 1, a guy who casually erases magic and walks through safe zones. Right in front of them is an ancient, unknown entity tearing apart a gateway that is literally collapsing before their eyes. They have maybe seconds to make a life or death choice. So that leaves us hanging by an absolute thread. Do they step into the golden unknown, blindly trusting an alien entity that just tore a hole in reality? Or do they stay and face the unstoppable executioner that is the Crimson Hound? I mean, this is the exact kind of impossible choice that defines true survival. What would you do in those final fading seconds? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will leave you to ponder exactly how you'd survive the beginning of the Great Hunt. See you next time.